Hello, and welcome to the Tris Brina Show. Welcome, dear friends. Here we go. Today, we're talking about how to unlock a better mood. Because we all know this, that moving the physical body, that's really good for you. It really helps a lot. Just movement alone helps your body feel better. But did you know that by unblocking energy pathways in your body with specific movements can help you to deal with anxiety,
depression,
stress. And did you know that these same unblocking techniques can help bring mental clarity and massively boost your mood? I knew that. We hope you did too. And in tonight's show, we want to dive into how that works and get you super inspired and motivated to start using these movements, these specific movements, to open up the energy pathways known as meridians in your body.
Because here's something that's a little curious. Oftentimes when, let's say you make a plan and you make a commitment, and you're like, I'm gonna move my body X number of times a week for X amount of time, but then you just don't feel like it. Feel like you don't have the energy, you're tired, you're sad, you're depressed. You just don't feel like it. Because so many of us have put physical movement, exercise, walking, stretching, qigong, yoga, going to the gym, whatever it is that you do, into the category of that's what I do for my body. And we've completely forgotten that the benefits are for the brain. The benefits are to elevate the mood. It actually shifts your identity. I experience this absolutely every time I move my body.
You're a different person after you started moving. Like, I know this, like, don't ever mess with Sabrina's movement routine. Like, even on a Sunday, like, hey, babe, why don't you skip your workout today and let's go have pancakes down at IHOP. First of all, we don't eat pancakes at IHOP. We used to. But I know better because I don't want to jack with her mood. I don't want to interfere with that holy moment that takes place.
Yeah. And we're going to dive in during this episode about all the things that take place. But this is what I personally find probably the most interesting is so many times in trying to shift a mood or change something or take a different direction, I try to input a new idea. I try to focus on something better. So I'm trying to take my mind and focus it on what I do want. But what I find with physical movement for me is because I'm simply in the physical movement, especially if it's something that requires either coordination, like dancing or qigong, or like following along with some type of routine, or maybe specifically within a certain rhythm and timing with music, or if it is challenging. It's a little bit challenging to do it.
Keyword.
That I'm so focused on that I forget to feel the bad feels. I forget all of the things that are kind of pulling my mood down. And by not being pulled down by those thoughts, like walking out of the house of darkness, I'm like automatically feel like I am this new identity. Like I've shed those emotions and now I'm able to tap into whatever I want. And then of course there's the whole goodie bag that comes with physical movements, with what happens in the brain and the entire body.
And we geek out on this stuff because, for years, like so many of you who are here joining us right now, you've probably been on the personal development journey for decades. If not, hey, welcome to the party. It's pretty good. But
you're never going home.
The thing is that when I started on the personal development journey, right, reading the books, studying the teachers, trying to figure out how to change my thoughts, very few people talked about moving the body. Very few, if at all.
It gets shoved into exercise.
Yes. In fact, when we first started coming out into the world of personal development, we were coached by other teachers, business coaches, to not do too much physical movement. It would intimidate people. They wouldn't want to do it. They just want to work on their mind. They want to change their brain. And we tried to follow the instructions of not talking about it and doing it. And then we're like, oh, heck no. This is everything. See, we didn't know when we were kids how much it was doing for the brain, or how much it was doing to release stress, or how it was shifting our mood. All we know is we were addicted to movement. We thought, oh, we're artistes, right? Oh, I'm a physical martial artist. She's this amazing ballerina dancer. But it was because of what it was doing to how we felt. And now, understanding even further that in our bodies there are these beautiful energy pathways that get blocked, that get stagnant, and that we were freeing them up and we didn't even know about what that is, and now we do. And there's specific movements that we'll talk about today. Now we understand the science behind it. And it is just the most incredibly beautiful thing to give yourself. Somebody said you're getting a twofer. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're getting to take care of the holy temple, your body, and you're getting to feel freaking amazing. And I got to talk just a little longer because I know you want to jump in. Maybe. I went to the gym today early. I was having a meeting with a really cool guy, and I wanted to get...
I was earlier just so
Yeah,
we all
she's
know.
always sooner. And I went to the gym early, which was really nice. And I've been in a really good place, like in my life. I feel really good. But I've had a couple of weird mood things happen lately. And I always move and I do my thing, but I felt it this morning and I was like, oh, I'm going to just meditate through it. And I couldn't. It was still there. When I left that gym, I was a completely different human being.
Yeah.
I was so happy. And I'm so grateful that I have a body that I can move. So, movement is juicy. Let's dig into it.
And for me, in the past, when I struggled so often with like anxiety, kind of addictive, compulsive behaviors,
Yeah.
physical movement, that release of dopamine helped me have a break from those cravings and those thoughts and those kind of obsessive behaviors. And by having a break from it, allowed me to then choose more wisely, because I could get caught up in a spiral and I couldn't think my way out of it. I couldn't pray my way out of it. I couldn't read my way out of it. But just by doing some type of movement. For me, walking, I love to walk. Like every time we travel, I'm like, can we go for like the longest walk in the entire world?
She loves her
I
walks.
have probably two favorite days of my whole life, and the second one was when we went to London and we had a whole day.
We walked
and
all
we
day.
walked and walked and walked and walked, and it was the most incredible day because you see things that you don't see. And in that new environment, it did provide the physical movement with the stimulus to pull me into this like best day of my life. But sometimes, you don't just want to walk around the same block at the same time, listening to the same song, right? You gotta keep it where it feels fresh and it feels new and challenging in a way of just new stimulation. A different song, a different path, a different speed. But for me, what I love about these like Qigong routines and dance routines and things like that is that it causes me to have to focus more. Like we teach this class called Fitness Fusion, and the students have to focus to try to figure out what we're doing and to follow along. Yeah. There is no space and no time for them to think about their worries because it's about like learning and grasping. And I think there's so much value in that. And that's why they often say that physical movement is one of the best ways to prevent dementia because it's lighting up so much of your brain.
We have some really cool research and notes that we've put to the side here that we'd like to share with you during the show tonight, just to help inspire you more than anything. Like we've got plenty of Qigong for you to go and do. I'm sure at some point we can pull up a link for you where you can go and get some free Qigong if you don't have it already. satorymethod.com/QFB. QFB. I'll put a link up later. But anyway, let's dive into like at least 4, maybe 5 really awesome reasons to be doing this unblocking type movement stuff. So let's start with it reduces stress and anxiety. Blocked energy leads to a buildup of stress in the body because what you may or may not know is within your body you have these rivers. They're called meridians. The acupuncturists, they use little needles and stimulate them, and it helps them block the energy and gets it moving and flowing. And usually people feel amazing after doing a session like that. Well, these type of movements we're talking about, somebody put it in the chat, I love the tapping and the bouncing and the squeezing and the
Yep.
shaking.
Yep.
These are wonderful movements that come from Qigong, and they target the tissues and the fascia that help to open up the channels and get the energy flowing properly again. But things like dance are doing that too.
Oh, yeah.
You're wiggling and you're shaking and you're sometimes jumping a little bit.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, yes, you are. And so you're getting this whole body unblocking experience through moving. And so that's going to really help deal with stress and anxiety. So if you've been feeling like that stress, so I think of stress in this way. I think of it as certain thoughts that are tight and constricting thoughts, almost like I'm going through in my mind just too much stress, and it turns into this feeling of anxiety,
Yeah.
worrying about stuff.
Well, the brain, when you start moving, is like, hey, you want some endorphins? Here you go. And those are those like feel good, warm and fuzzy. Why is it that when I start working out or start moving, I could feel tired or let's just say I feel like older. And then some time passes and it's like, I am invincible. I feel so good. Our life is so amazing. And the sun that was coming through the window that was irritating me is now suddenly so beautiful. I am a different person. My brain has shifted state. I'm feeling different feelings. Now, I love being fit. I love having a fit body. I love having toned muscles. I love all of that. But I tell you, nothing tops feeling good about yourself and feeling good about others. That's like the best. Move your body just so you feel great.
And stress and anxiety they're symptoms. They're signs that your energy's not flowing well. It's feedback, and you can actually use it, right?
Yeah.
It's telling you that your nervous system is just too jacked up. What's in the sympathetic nervous system. And by doing these bouncing, squeezing, flowing movements, you're shifting into the parasympathetic, the rest, the digest, the ease, and the flow. And you'll just feel that anxiousness just dropping away.
Yep.
So that's one of the most beautiful reasons in our crazy world that we live in, where we're all experiencing stress. I don't know anyone who doesn't get anxious unless they're living on a mountaintop. Maybe they don't have stress and
They get
anxiety.
anxious about isolation.
Yeah, I'm so anxious about being isolated. Where are my friends? All right, here's number 2 that we've got for you. It improves circulation. So all of these movements improve circulation on a couple of levels. One is when you're bouncing like this and moving and breathing, you're moving your lymphatic fluid. So your lymphatic system is a huge part of your immune system. So specifically bouncing up and down, that's getting the lymph to move through the vessels, and it's clearing out toxins and pathogens. Additionally, the blood starts to circulate better, right? So as you warm up your body, you dilate the vessels, the blood flows better, movement starts circulating that blood. And if you know anything about Qi and Qigong, blood carries Qi, and as also the tissues open up, the meridian pathways open, and more energy starts to circulate through your body. So you're getting more oxygen as well circulating into your blood. So circulation's everything. I always liken it to like a swimming pool. And you have these tubes and these pipes that feed water in and out of the pool, and you have to have the pump.
Yep.
The pump is movement. The pump is bouncing, breathing, move the body, and circulate all those fluids.
So if you've ever been in a situation where you couldn't catch your breath or you've been swimming and you're like, I can't breathe, and there's this panic, but it feels at the time like it's just about getting oxygen into your lungs. It's actually your whole body can't breathe because you breathe that oxygen in, not just for your lungs, but you breathe that oxygen in for everything.
Every cell.
So that it can get in the blood and the blood can carry it all over. And not only does movement help with circulation, one of the ways it helps with circulation is when you're consistently doing movements that require circulation, it does this amazing thing. It's like, oh, we need to build more capillaries, right? It's like if you turn on your irrigation system consistently, wouldn't it be great if you were so consistent it threw more pipes in the ground so you were watering even more areas? Because the body has the intelligence to do that. And the more capillaries and the more better your circulation, then when you are doing movements, your body has a better ability to tap into stored fat, turn it into energy that your body can use. So many people say, I have all this extra stored fat, but I'm not able to use it. Why? You don't have the roads that allow the trucks to get to the fat to carry it out, and circulation will do that for you.
Right on, right on.
Right on.
Right on with the right on. Okay, next one, number 3, we chose how it enhances your mental clarity. So if you've been practicing Qigong, yoga, dance, different movements that really give your mind a job and you're totally present to what you're doing, even more like a moving meditation, you're so present to your breath and to the postures and the flowing movements. You're putting yourself in this state of mental presence. And so when you're so present like that, what happens is your brain gets lit up, right? Because sometimes what's happening is we have too many mind. Your focus is split. We call it fragmented focus, and you're juggling all these thoughts. And so how are you going to have mental clarity? There's just too much information, too much noise. It takes all those thoughts and it focuses it into one lane. And now you're present, and you're using your body to get present. And your body is teaching your brain, let's get in the zone, right? You've heard about the athletes that slip in the zone.
Yep.
They call this really present state a state of Mushin, which means there's no mind. What that really means is the front of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, goes into a quiet state. It's called transient hypofrontality. That's a big name. And it's turning off all the data crunching,
Name
critical...
our next dog that.
Transient prefrontal hypofrontality. Yeah, something like
Come
that.
here.
Come here, transient hypofrontality. It mutes the critical data crunching brain, and it throws you into the deeper mind, into the subconscious, which is, subconscious is not just in your brain, it's in your whole body. You get into that flow state.
Yep.
You're out of the way, you're not overthinking. That's just going to enhance that total beautiful clarity.
Which is very similar to what I was saying earlier in tonight's show, is that when I'm moving, it's not that I'm trying to think different thoughts. I'm not seeking clarity. I'm not seeking insights, but I am ceasing to focus on all the other stuff that I don't need to be thinking about. And that creates a vacuum and a void and a space for these uploads and downloads where I can hear my intuition, I can hear that inner calling, I can think more clearly because I'm not thinking about the now or the future based on those thoughts that were from the past that were causing me worry and anxiety.
We've got one more for you tonight.
One more what?
Insight, reason to practice unblocking so you can unlock your better mood. This one is probably the most important in my opinion, and it has to do with your emotions, the way you're reading your energy. To us, that's what emotions are. They're the language of your energy flow. And so if you're feeling sad, your energy's not flowing too good, right? It's blocked, it's pinched off, it's sluggish, it's stagnant. So as you start to study your emotions, you start to see the correlation between your energy flow and your state. And there's a saying that we've been sharing for years that the energy psychologists love, which is the root cause of negative emotions is a disturbance or disruption in that energy flow of your energy system. So what that's telling you is negative emotions are connected to your emotion. Your negative emotions are connected to the way the energy is flowing. So what are we talking about? We're talking about ways of moving your body that open up the energy pathways so that you can return to a natural state of flow, and then your emotions start to elevate. It's like the vibration within your body, right? Because energy is a vibration. It starts to upregulate. It starts to rise. It starts to elevate. And as that happens, your mood goes way up. And that's why people say, I felt so at peace.
Yeah.
I felt so grounded. I felt so centered. I felt love, that the heart opened up. I felt compassion. All those benevolent qualities of high vibrational energy, boom.
Yep.
Best reason ever to bounce, squeeze, shake, and flow.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we can move however we can move. Like right now, I have a situation with a foot. It'll be better in a couple days. So I would probably do things with my arms or maybe seated in a chair. On another day, it's like whatever I can move, I'll move that. And I'll be grateful for moving that. And I'll be 100% in moving the parts that I can move with joy. And I see that causes a catalyst of healing. But I love the emotional balance because I'll tell you a little story. Years ago, I had a really good friend and we were spending time together. It was a male.
What?
And
another male? And they were a friend?
And he had a job that took him to Hawaii. And he was there and he was supposed to come back. And so he says, hey, I'm coming back. It has been like 3 weeks. And I was so excited that he came back. I went and I got a couple of balloons and put them in my apartment. And I got a little cake. And I was like, oh, I was going to welcome him back. And then at the last minute, he said, I have to stay another week. We've extended the job for another week. And I was kind of bummed. I'm like, okay. So I ate the cake.
As you do.
As you do. But so he's going to come back in another week, and I was all good. So I went and I bought another big balloon, and I got some kind of little treat, and I was all ready again. And the same thing happened at the last minute. He said,
not such a good friend.
I can't come. Oh, it was a job.
Okay,
He couldn't.
he's forgiven.
And it really upset me. It really upset me because I had hyped myself up to see him twice, and I had like lived in my head this like happy moment, and I had prepared and felt let down. And I remember I just felt really sad about it, and I didn't know what to do. I was living in West Hollywood. So I actually drove to the gym and I got on the treadmill and I started walking and skipping and I started crying. Aww. And I was just like, that's just okay. And so I just skipped and walked on the treadmill and let the tears come because it was a release. Mm. It was shifting the emotion of like disappointment and sadness and why is this happening? The tears were turning that into just energy that no longer had a meaning. And then I could clearly see, my friend wants to come, his job is keeping him there, and it was no longer personal. But that moving physically helped to process that so quickly. It wasn't like I needed to go see a therapist. I just needed to move the energy of the emotion through the body. That's why crying is so good, or sometimes screaming into a pillow. It helps move the energy. It's the same thing with physical movement. Sometimes when you just are feeling something and you don't know what to do, go walk really fast. Do Qigong. Move your body. Let the energy transform in that way. It's the fastest way to turn something you don't want into a neutral feeling that then you can direct into a more positive way.
Beautiful. So if we kind of do a recap, you can see how this all flows together. So the first one we shared with you had to do with stress and anxiety. So those are feedback mechanisms letting you know that your energy's pinched off, you're out of alignment with your flow. So, okay, great. I need to get going and get moving. So what do? You move and you improve, number 2, your circulation. You start to free up the channels, get the blood flowing, get the oxygen in there, get the lymphatic system fired up. Now the body's coming back to life. We're creating what we call body-mind aligned. And then what happens is your mood starts to shift. It starts to elevate. You start to feel better, which led to that mental clarity she was talking about. Now she could make conscious decisions. She could navigate her emotions. She could see, this isn't something you need to take personally. Of course, it hurt my feelings, but I get that. That's a human thing. And I send him love and blah, blah, blah. And just like this, blah, blah, blah. Move your body. Get out of use the angst in life. Use the irritants to remind you to move. And even if you can't move a lot now.
I have to tell a story.
You have to remember that we came to this, me in particular, from being very beat up. Mm-hmm. Not being able to walk, not being able to do a lot of stuff. But you know what I could do? I could breathe. I could learn about these things. I could start tapping on places, getting circulation going. I could do some things with my upper body. I
Yep.
could start to visualize the energy moving through, and gradually, little by little, I brought my body back to life.
Yeah.
Right? As much as you can, but you can always move your chi.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you have a little story?
Yeah, I recently was, I had a phone call with a gentleman that helps
Another
with,
man? No. What's going on?
he was more like a accountant bookkeeper.
Okay, fine.
And in the course of the conversation, you start out friendly before you get to the meat, and I'm like, how are you? It's like, well, I'm really going through this time in my life where I am not able to sleep. I said I didn't have it before. He said, I'm doing all the right things, right? I'm turning the lights down. I'm not eating too close to bedtime. I'm getting into bed. I'm not watching TV. But I'm sleeping like 3 hours. And then I'm up and I try to meditate and I try to breathe and I try to do this and that. And I can't fall back asleep. Then it's time to be in the day and I'm absolutely exhausted. And he said, I've been to several doctors. My wife is a pharmacist. They've been putting me on some different medications and nothing is helping. So I'm just hoping to find a solution. And I said, what's your movement program like? And he goes, oh, I have a Precor, an elliptical machine, and I'm doing it 3 times a week for 15 minutes. What do you suggest? And I said, I suggest you do it 7 days a week for 45 minutes. And he's like, oh my gosh. And I said, how about 5 times a week for 45 minutes? And I said, because sleep sometimes is your body's way of healing. Like, oh my gosh, you exerted some energy. We're now going to be in this rest mode to recover and
That's a
heal.
good call. Yeah.
And I said, maybe you're actually not stressing your body enough to trigger rest.
That'll make you sleep.
Probably 10 days later, he texted me and he said, I can't believe this. Ever since our phone call, I've moved for 45 minutes and I've slept all night ever since.
Ta-da!
He said, this is a miracle.
Yeah,
And he
better
said,
than medication.
I was starting to take all this medication and these pills when he has some like all of us, but he has anxiety. He has habits and patterns of worry and anxiety. And to compensate for that, physical movement really can fatigue the body. So your brain has to shut up and sleep. And he
really
said
good.
he said he has not taken any medication and he's sleeping like full night every night.
I love that.
I do too. And how simple.
Great.
And like
Great advice.
free. Right? Move your body.
Kathy wants to know if she can pitch that idea. Was that Kathy? Somebody said, can I pitch that idea to my husband? I want to give you guys a little bit of evidence-based feedback on this. So some scientific evidence behind this whole concept of opening up these energy pathways. There was a 2010 study published by the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, and it found that acupuncture, using those little needles we talked about to open up the energy pathways, which is believed to unblock the energy channels, can improve symptoms of depression and anxiety. That's a study that was 13 years ago. There was another one, 2015. It reviewed 15 studies published by the journal Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine, found that yoga, a form of moving meditation like Qigong, can unblock energy channels and improves your mood and reduces symptoms of depression. Mm-hmm. Got one more that's cool. I just grabbed a few because, sometimes you need to give that part of your brain like, hey, listen, there's science behind this. There's evidence. Come on, let's go. 2019, another one published by the Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine, found that massage, which helps to open up blocked energy by freeing up a tissue, connective tissue known as fascia, that tissue which can pinch off the flow of the energy. They said by freeing it up, you can improve your mood and reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression.
Now, I'm not sure I really believe that last one.
No?
No.
Okay.
You might have to prove it to me.
Okay.
You might have to.
You need a massage.
You might have to massage me later and prove
So
it.
have you noticed if you get the right touch, you've got that love and feeling, and you massage just right, there you go. Ooh, that's so good. Don't stop. It makes you
Even
feel
the
so
puppies,
good.
they have like their little spots. Like Bentley loves right under his ears and the
What is that?
spot
That's
right
freeing
here.
up the energy.
Yeah.
It's the touch, it's the love, it's the transference of the
Well,
vibration.
when we were preparing for the show tonight, one of the studies, and I don't remember where it was saying that people who would move 20 minutes a day were getting the same results as people taking antidepressant medication.
That's right.
Now, of course, consult your doctor because we're not doctors.
We are not, and we do not play them on TV. However, we're here to inspire you to keep moving. Movement is life. Our goal here is to, as we continue to expand this method of Satori, awakening health, awakening clarity, awakening consciousness, is just to be inspirators.
Inspirators,
We're going to
man.
inspirate
We are
all over you.
Inspirators.
You're an inspirator.
Like an influencer.
Yeah, you're the high vibe influencer inspirator. Anyway, that's our goal, is just to inspire you to keep moving, keep feeling good, leave this place better than when we got here. You know, just rub off on people your good positive vibes, be an awesome role model for people, and it
And
starts
feel
with,
good
starts
along
with you
the way.
feeling good. Yeah.
Feel good.
100%. Okay, what are we going to play? We've got a little goodbye song.
We're having a real date night tonight. We're leaving the house.
We're leaving the house. We're going Calypso, baby. You ready?
Oh, we have to take our screenshot.
The steel drums. All right.
Thank you, those of you
Breathers of
who
life.
are
Love
watching
that.
live on YouTube, those who are watching live on Facebook, and those that are catching the replay, or maybe you're watching a replay on our website. We so appreciate your time and attention and for being part of the Satori tribe. If you want to check out Qigong for Beginners, you can use that link, satorimethod.com/QFB, Qigong for Beginners, and give it a go.
It's a free course. You'll dig it. Okay. Mucho amoro. Bye now.